What's up, everybody? I'm Frankie Biggz. Thank you for stopping by to my channel. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these videos. Okay. Well, today we've got a special guest yet again. Mr. Nate Walka is in the house, and today we are going to do a reaction video to RM's record. Irene, it is called the Wrong Person, Right Place.
No, it's called Right Place, Wrong Person.
Right Place, Wrong Person. That's actually kind of a mouthful, but in any event, everybody say hello to Mr. Nate Walka.
What's good, gang? What's good? What's good? Army out here. Shout out to the Army. And I was gonna say something, but I was gonna say, but you know what I'm saying, we're gonna show love to the Army too, man.
The
you know
Army.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're gonna show love to the Army, and maybe we got some middle fingers for the Army, but I don't want to promote violence or nothing or any type of negativity. So
yeah,
we'll just keep it on.
You don't want to do to them what they've been doing to us all week. Jeez.
Oh, word.
Yeah, man.
Take it easy, guys. Take it easy. Take a day off.
Yeah, really. So look, man, I told you before, I'm really happy that we get to listen to this record because it's very special. So I say we just get into it, and before then, I think we're all good. We're ready to go. So I
got you in the car so I can, this is my favorite place to listen to music. So
absolutely,
you know what I'm saying, I'm coming live from the whip, so we can so I ain't gotta just be listening on my phone trying to make it happen. So let's make it happen, guys.
Let's do it. This is the intro.
I'm ready for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. I ain't heard nothing yet. I've been, intentionally, making sure I don't, no spoilers. So this is
no
good.
problem. All right, let's go. First track.
All right, so we're going for the first track. You guys can see here, Right People, Wrong Place.
Here we go.
Right people, wrong place, wrong place, war is fire.
Okay.
Hey.
It's pretty very Seattle sounding, almost like Seattle meets NYC in 1995 or something. I don't know. It has the elements of both coasts.
Yo, man, I feel like I just took a little, this is what I imagine like taking an acid trip or shrooms would be like.
Yeah,
this is like mad psychedelic.
That's the right word for this, man. That it's exactly right. It's very psychedelic. And
play that back. Can we listen to that one more time?
Sure. Let's play it back, Meanie.
Yeah, let's run that back.
All right.
I wasn't even expecting that at all. So this is already like, I'm like, whoa, what did I just hear? Play that back. Experimental, it's super progressive stuff.
Yeah. I like, what I dig about it is that in the very beginning, when that guitar starts going doom doom doom, it's just a one string kind of thing, and it really gives that London punk rock thing to it. But where the Seattle part comes is it's just as I think it's probably about the eighth measure as it starts to build towards the drum. You can hear in the very last chord, it's actually their keyboards emulating the guitar line that's going, and it's kind of that chord right there is more of a passing chord, so it's kind of living in between the passing chord and the tension chord. And I really excuse me, using tension notes, and that really gives that Seattle thing to it. So I really dig it. That's my 2 cents on it.
Nice. Yeah, so for me, this record, like I said, this is nothing like what I was expecting, and I'm so pleasantly surprised because I know sometimes, like, especially like when you're like a super successful artist, it's easy to stop taking chances, you know what I'm saying? To like stop, you know, making bold moves with your sound or doing anything that feels like abstract. And to me, this was like art, you know, and it didn't feel like he was trying to get a, you know, a billion streams or anything like that. It just felt like he was, you know, doing something that like made him feel something, and he wanted to share that with his audience, you know, with his fan base, with his fam. So that man, that's what it's all about to me. You know what I'm saying? Like as an artist, as a creator, is like pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? This is how we get further, and we create more space and flexibility for the next generation of artists to take even, you know, larger leaps. So yeah, man, this was a pleasant surprise, bro. I was expecting him to come in rapping and going crazy and
not yet
singing. And, hey, this was, you know what I'm saying? So this is just the intro, or
that was the intro. Yeah, that's the intro.
Oh, okay.
So, but
okay, let's go.
Yeah, he did really. I'll say it real quick that I think it's a really nice, refreshing departure, a little bit away from the good boy, you know, like the good boy persona. I mean, he is a good dude, you know what I mean? But it's like you can tell that the progression in music and the progression and the maturity level has come up, because he's straight out being like, get the fuck out of my face. But again, like you were saying, it's very artful, it's very tactfully done, and I really do love the space that it gives away from who he is and where he's coming from. It's really, really cool. I dig it. All right, Rini, ready?
Yeah, let's do
the next song is Nuts. Here we go.
Wouldn't trust, freaky, you freaking me. Wishing you right for you. I could play this right. I could make this right place for you.
That was
what
nuts.
Did I just hear?
That was these nuts. You did. Woo! You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of one of my favorite like producers that's like, you know, like a name in my, you know, like I listen to a bunch of his stuff, and I view his sound like it's like trap jazz almost, or like a you know, evolution of jazz. But Flying Lotus, the production on that felt like if you listen to some early Flying Lotus, like the LA EPs, man, you'll see what I'm talking about. And that joint is like, and it was dope because the whole song was like a journey, you know what I'm saying? And that joint, that was vibes, man. And like I said, you know, to me, it's all about artistic expression, and that's how you know you're getting something real, you know. And it's not just for streams and all this stuff. So I really appreciate this addition to, you know what I'm saying, to the art collective, man. Like I'm real proud of Rap Month right now, yo. Like he's like, wow, man. I you know what I'm saying? Like okay, yeah.
What I liked about it, man, was that it right before the second verse, you could feel that the change was coming. And at one point, when the second verse came back in, the drums dropped. It's like they took the same drum track that they were using and they just pitched it all the way down and added some really cool stereophonic distortion to it, and it kind of just, it gave it that monster, and just the way that he's just flowing to it, man, is like, it's genius, man. It's just super genius. I still have, I'm still waiting, because I had made a comparison, and we'll talk about that later, but last time I had said it reminded me of something. But well, let's get to the next one. Rini, go ahead, give it to us. What's this one called, by the way?
This is Out of Love.
Out of Love. Let's go.
Let's get it.
All you strangers here from one body can't fuck my mind.
Wow.
Yo, he going off, man.
Yeah, dude.
Off. It sound like he got some like this feel like some really like, you know what I'm saying? Like he getting off his chest almost,
Yep.
you know? So
Yep.
this is like, man, this is definitely a complete 180 of what I was expecting. So like I'm excited, man. Like, oh, this is dope, bro. Go ahead. What you thinking, man?
No, man. I listen. First off, I love the fact that when it started, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like a James Bond vibe, like the late '60s. You know, the British kind of thing, man. And what I liked about that was achieving that was that kind of production value. Definitely, the engineer was using some vinyl type plugins to kind of get that warped sound, right? And I really respect that. But what I really thought was cool was right after the second verse, there's a part where they break it down before the big breakdown, and you can tell that he's actually he's saying something, he's rapping, but he's using a harmonica mic. You know, you've seen those where they hold the harmonica. Well, that's a microphone. And sometimes people back in the 60s would use those harm mics through their vocals, and it would give it that really cool, like way back stereophonic sound with a lot of distortion at the top, and it kind of took on the tone of a phone. You know what I mean? It had that kind of high pass filter, and I really dig that. And they would use the harm mic to achieve that kind of a thing. And so whether they really used one or not, I don't know, but I'll say that whoever produced it knew exactly what they were doing when it came to this vibe, this real bohemian 60s vibe, man. I'm really impressed with that. Really impressed.
Yeah, it's definitely like giving me this trap jazz kind of vibe, and the I feel like it's a cohesive sound. So like it doesn't feel like it's a bunch of different producers. It feels like it's one producer locked in with Rapmon, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this, you know what I'm saying, this project just feels intimate, you know what I'm saying? It feels like special. It doesn't feel like, you know, like it seems like something he wanted to have out there, you know. It's like a piece you want out there before you pass on and stuff, you know. It's like, I want the future generations that, you know, that at least like have this for them so they know I said it. You know what I'm saying? We did it. So yeah, man, I'm enjoying this, man. It's it's mad lucid though. It's like it's trippy, yo. It's like you know,
I feel like it's almost like he stumbled onto Wonderland. You know what I mean? Like Alice in Wonderland. Like all of a sudden, somehow he wound up on that path, like her. Like it gives me that vibe, that really eclectic and just ever changing environment and elemental kind of vibe to it. It's very cool. All right, man. What's next, Rini B?
Next one will be Domodachi.
Domodachi. Let's get
Domodachi.
Let's go.
Domodachi. I remember the Tamagotchis.
Get the fuck down, motherfucker, with a douche. No more look, step in the place and a yo go figure on what.
What the fuck?
Wow. Whoa, that was the fusion was crazy in that. Ooh. That like I feel like the hook I felt it like it was giving me George Clinton vibes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? One Nation Under a Groove, Flashlight, it's all love, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just the dog in me, you know what I'm saying? And it was also I just loved how he slid us into it too from the jump. I'm you know, I love this halftime, you know, full-time kind of transition that's going on back and forth, because it's, you know what I'm saying, it's like, to me, it's more reflective of life. Like, this is how, you know what I'm saying, we, you know, because as a person, we can switch from this tempo to that tempo to this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? We could be doing something at this speed and then have to switch gears immediately or whatever the case may be, and it still be in pocket. And man, I really like it. And the feature on it too. I appreciate the feature, you know what I'm saying? He had a little London talent in there. What's her name?
Yeah. Who was that? Rini, does it say?
That was Little Sims.
Little Sims.
Oh, okay, Little Sims. Yeah, she dope.
Okay.
You know
So
Yeah,
what I really
yeah,
took
she
away
dope.
from this, man, was first off, I really dug the fact, and I know that in a production sense and engineering, this was probably a little bit of a nightmare, and I'll tell you why. Because first off, I'll say so far this record has been very super bold, like super bold and just very exposing in a way where, like you said, like he's just putting out, this is the way he feels, this is the way it goes. And I love the fact that in this track they recorded everything kind of like one mic and a bunch of people in the room, and everybody kind of sang together, you know what I mean? And same with the drums, you can tell this is like live off the floor. But what I really dug the most out of that is here you have almost this sonic calamity that's going, because everything is so live off the floor. And his voice comes in, and his voice is like he's singing through either like a Neumann like this or a Sony, because his voice is so in your face while everything else is chaotic in the background. And that perfect marriage between peace and chaos, it just worked sonically. And I just really thought that was incredible engineering.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's a bitch to master something like that when everything is so laid out flat on the table, live wise. You know what I mean? It's not so stereophonic in 3D where you can push all these things and instruments to come up. When it's live off the floor, it's what you get. It's what that mic is picking up. There's no separation. So they did an amazing job, and engineering wise, they did great job.
Absolutely.
All right, Rini, next one. What's the next one called?
Fire.
This is an interlude, and it's just an interrogation sign.
All right, let's run it. Let's hear it.
All right.
You got the best of me.
Oh, that was tough. Whoa. Woo.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead. Give it to him.
Oh, man. I'm like, yo, who on the drums, man? Get a drummer song. We got to get a drummer song. Yo, man. That was crazy, bro. That was crazy. Like I said, this is giving me that whole like trap jazz wave, which I love. Like I listen to this type of like music without lyrics, like probably 80% of my time when I'm listening to music, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I really, you know what I'm saying, really appreciate a lot of the inspiration for this. You know what I'm saying? Even just looking at everything, I'm also getting like, you know, the Fela Kuti, you know, inspiration and all that stuff too, from the Afro side. And I just love how he's making it really an eclectic mashup, you know, because that's how my brain is. It's like, because when you making music all the time and you doing all these things all the time, that's why I push so many limits on my own. Like this, you know, I make a lot of crazy stuff that I don't release. I may release one day, but it's just because I'm like, yo, what's the boundary, man? It's like, you know, once you understand how to create, you know, these structured sounds and songs and it's like, then it's like, okay, well then anyone can create these structured things, you know. That's what I love about jazz, is that it's got this like real-time pulse. It's like it feels alive, you know what I'm saying? It feels like you could tell somebody was, you know, it ain't just programming. This is like, you know what I'm saying, somebody heart and soul going into, you know, playing the drums, or, you know what I'm saying, even the engineering, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody has to be creatively mixing these records, because all engineers aren't made the same, you know. That's why a lot of times we'll have 4 or 5 engineers mix the same record, because they're gonna give us different vibes, you know. So yeah, man. Nah, I'm enjoying this. Like a chill back. I wish I had like, you know, a little like something, some tea or something, man. I just need to be like laid back in the sun. I need to drive to the park, maybe by the water or something, and chill out.
I really dug the drumming part. Obviously, what did it for me. That, especially going back in those jazz days, that the king of the double stroke and paradiddle shuffles like that was Steve Gadd, this drummer. And there, that's kind of where I feel like they're taking from is that real double stroke rolls, paradiddles,
Yeah.
and really, applying the entire set like that to one big rudiment. And the other thing that I really thought was so cool was the fact that the hi-hat that they use, that fucking thing it's right in your ear, it's cutting through. You hear that thing.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that that's not an actual hi-hat. That's actually two splash cymbals that are put together to give it this really high intense, you can even hear the fact that they're using a wooden beater at the end of the stick, because sometimes it's nylon or sometimes it's rubber, but that is wood. And that's what you hear. And those are smaller cymbals to get that kind of a sound. Normally back in the days when these jazz cats would do that was because they were playing either some type of an Argentinian groove or a Brazilian kind of thing. And they would really they would use those really small splash cymbals like that because they cut through rather than your typical, cymbals like that. So I really respected the attention to detail when it came to the production, especially the drums. Again, that shuffle groove, double strokes, and paradiddles, using the entire kit like that and that rudiment measure like that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is a very, very well mature, thought out, eclectic record, and it has not dropped off yet.
He's showing his progression, man. He's showing his range and his reach, and he's to me the whole point of this is like, yo, you can't put me in a box. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm infinite. You know what I'm saying? I'm boundless. So that's inspiration, man. I really appreciate this body of work. What we got next?
RM, he's the man. This guy, he's just really, he is the boss. I'll say that. He's the boss when it comes to that. His sound is
big boss.
All right, what's the next one, Rini B?
This is growing.
As in growing, being kicked in, or growing up?
No, growing as in
don't find out.
GROIN, growing.
Being kicked in. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Yo, 세상에 재수 없는 새끼가 많아.
Man, what a groove monster. What a groove monster, man.
That felt so good.
Yeah, it did.
That record felt amazing.
Woo.
That record felt amazing. And you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm really proud of is seeing like he gets it, in the sense that this is the same thing you saw with like Michael Jackson, right? It's like once you reach a certain point, like you are the bar, you're the 10, right? So if you don't keep going forward, then nobody is gonna keep pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Right, so it's like it's like the responsibility of a super mega star to really, at a certain point, evolve the whole, create a new genre, evolve the genre, go beyond, because no one else has that ability. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, I really feel like he's taking responsibility and like, taking the reins. Like he's like, yo, like, it's kind of like that. It's like, man, because if you can't do it at the top, if you don't have enough artistic freedom at the top to come out with something original, creative, push the envelope, then it's like, then we're stuck. We'll never get out of the loop if that's the case. Right. So yeah, this was dope, man. I could drive to that all day.
I kind of feel like that I want to bring Prince up in the fact that when Prince did his stuff, most of it, even if he programmed it, but when he kind of got away from the Purple Rain, actually let me say it's when he got away from the Batman soundtrack, on, he went back to using natural instruments and stuff like that. And he's always been the one take king. You know what I mean? And sometimes you could hear it because not everything was perfect, but that was the thing. It was perfectly flawed. You know what I mean? So it worked. Right. And this is kind of what I take away from what RM is doing here. Like he's putting the groove down, and he's saying, look, man, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, we're going to make it beautiful in a way that it's not perfect, but we're going to make it beautiful being not perfect. You know what I'm saying? And meaning that he just really went all the way. Like you said, he gets it, and he gets it so much that he's able to take it beyond. He's able to take that and go with it somewhere else. And it doesn't sound stupid. It doesn't sound like he's trying. It really, really sounds like you're stuck in this man's mind, and you're really hearing the things that he's conveying. You know what I mean? Like you're feeling that musically. So I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Next one, Rini.
It is. Let's do it.
This is Heaven.
Let's go.
Where we all want to be. Let's
Absolutely.
Take my hand, you don't need to hide. Good here with me. Take my hand for
Man, that right there felt like that was different from all the rest of the joints I've heard so far.
Word.
Yeah, it just gave me a really good feel. Like the name of the song actually fits the vibe.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know what I'm saying? But I love those type of records too, man, where you could just vibe out. You know, I could be driving. I would definitely play that about if I was driving a long distance, I would play that probably like if I was driving 10 hours, I'd play that like probably 3 times every hour. Because it just flows, man.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? It just rolls.
Yeah.
And it ain't trying, it ain't doing too much at all. Like it ain't overly aggressive. It's just like feels
Very
like
chill.
yeah, it just kind of wafts over you. Like, I love this. You know.
It's true. It just kind of comes
man.
over you. Like it's just a really exhale.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
So I think this is I'm glad this was on the album because you know this kind of brings some a little you can breathe and relax a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
This is good smells. This is flowers and in the sun and everything. It's definitely yeah. What do we got there, Rini? The next one?
Yeah.
Lost. All right, let's go. Lost. What?
Hold on. Tell it underground, pick it up. I got them.
Whoa. Wow. Go ahead, Nate. Give it to him.
Yo, that was
bananas.
A trip, man. That was an amazing little trip right there. I love that this type of music is like because of him. Now this type of like music is getting a mainstream push. You know what I'm saying? And this song was super dope. I love the use. It sounded like it was a sample, but it could have been them actually. Yeah. I love the switch up, you know what I'm saying? Like when that came in from how it started, you know what I'm saying? Like really chill. And I love the harmonies, you know what I'm saying? I always love harmonies being used to, it's like I don't even know what the voice was saying for the hook,
right.
But it felt good. That to me is like that overrides understanding about whatever's being said. It's like, man, does it feel great? You know what I'm saying? Now that's music. So yeah, that was a trip, man. Like I could like listen to that probably 10 times in a row and not get tired.
It gave me an 80s feel. It was very reminiscent of as far as production and stylization of the group Berlin. They had a song called Metro, riding on the metro. And the thing was that they used these really polysonic, polylyphic sounds. You know what I mean? Like they were using Ah, man, to be quite honest with you, Roland's back then is actually a little too hard. They were using like the DX7, the Yamaha DX7, which is super poly, sounding, just very soft sounding, but using those and just really achieving that Berlin sound, especially with just the really 909 707 sounds. They did an amazing job, man. That guy it's just all I keep thinking when I hear these songs is bold, man. Like this is brave, super brave, man.
Super brave, exactly.
Wow.
Fighting, man. This is like, and that joint felt like I was skating. Like, yo, I'm sitting there, I'm feeling like, yo, am I skating on rollerblades?
Right. Yeah, and it gives it that kind of like almost like a Nintendo sound, like some of the Nintendo games back in those days, the old video game sounds that they used to use. That it just has that flow. Man, this is not what I expected, Nate.
Not me neither, man. This is like freedom. You can tell nobody can tell somebody to make music like this. You have to want to do this. You know what I'm saying? This has to be a mission and purpose for you. This ain't like, hey man, make a song like this and all that. Nah, this is like him, you know what I'm saying? He probably already was vibing with these type of beats and instrumentals, and it's just like, man.
It sounds like it's either one or two people. I can't see too many other people unless they were hired guns outside of the studio to be this creative. You know what I mean? So it sounds like him and another dude, a producer, because it sounds like the same production as far as the way that the production is being introduced and laid out, and the engineering, the way they mixed it and mastered it. Like it really, each song really does correlate with the next. So I do love the overall color so far of it. And also what I really dig the most too, and I haven't said it yet, is mix wise, I like how warm everything sounds. Everything sounds, even though it's some of it's live off the floor and there's just a lot of things happening. Everything sounds like it was just so warm, and maybe even cut to tape first to achieve that warmness. You know what I mean? And then switched over and mixed and mastered into digital, which makes sense. It's an expensive thing to do, but in his case, he's able to do it, and he did it. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like you said, it's an expensive thing to do. So that's why, like, a lot of the artists that do go this route don't have that notoriety. It's normally just a passion thing, and you don't hear their music, even though they've put their heart and soul into it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I feel like what he's doing is super brave, and it's
dude, you hit it on the head, man. It's a very responsible sounding sound. Like there's definitely a lot of responsibility that goes into this type of recording, and I feel like what a project. I mean, what a way to like sonically do it the correct way. Like he didn't cut any corners on any of this, and I'm super impressed with it. Super impressed. You ready for the next one?
Yes, so we're going for the next one, but before we go to the next one, I was looking at the credits, and it seems it's the same producers to all the songs. Like
yeah, that makes sense.
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, RM is on all of them, but there are like 4 or 5 producers for the songs. So we'll put it in the box below.
Is there one lead producer, or is he?
From what I see, there's this Mokio guy, Nancy Boy, Jin Ward. I don't know how to pronounce that. So
all right, so it's a team.
Yeah, it's like a team of producers in all of the songs, and it seems like it's the same team of producers, and some of them are more of them, but definitely JNKYRD is in all of them. Nancy Boy. So it's like the same team.
Awesome.
We're going to the next one, which is Around the World in a Day. And this one, Frankie has got a little advantage.
You're in for a treat. So I'll let you experience this one. It's the one that I did the review on, Nate.
Oh, hang on.
Look around. Let's start the parade. Look around. 나를 좀 때려줘. 속이 좀 안 좋아. 그래 그냥 좀 내려. Say I love you.
Jeez.
Wow. Wow, 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 bro. That was timeless. It was like a classic record. Like that felt, man. Like I was getting Jimi Hendrix vibes in there. I like in the beginning the attention to the frequencies that they're hitting, like when they're meshing like the production and the vocal, like, because even though like one of the notes they got rap on the hit is like, oh man, like that frequency, like that they focus on resonated like it was an instrument. You know what I'm saying? It's just wild. Go ahead.
It reminds me a lot of like D'Angelo, the How Do You Feel record. You know what I mean? Like, because if knowing anything about that record, I had heard that when he recorded How Does It Feel, it was like that was done on like an 8-track Tascam thing that he was doing demos on, and it just came out so good that they wrestled with it because he wanted to use exactly what he had captured on that 8-track, and everything was, that song. It to me, when I hear this, it like, oh my God, dude, you killed it. Like the soul is so D'Angelo, the backgrounds and the falsettos and all the runs that are going on, and just almost an I don't give a fuck attitude in a way, like this is funky and we're just gonna keep with it. We're just gonna ride to this, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but the groove is there. The groove is
perfect, though.
It is perfect, man. It's perfectly flawed.
The detail on that, I think, is at a crazy level.
And that I love the fact that the snare is actually an 808 tom, and it's got a low pass filter, so it kind of sounds like it's knocking from behind you. You know what I mean? And that kind of shit is really cool, man. I really respect, again, Brave. Who does that? Who does that? And then adds all these beautiful chords and melodies, and it's so today, and yet it has a nuance. It's got a lot of nuance, but it also has a tinge of that 60s, again, that hippie bohemian kind of thing. It just, they're sitting in that lane and they're killing it. I just love it.
This really separates Rapmon from any other artist out, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely, man. Ain't nobody doing it like this.
Yeah, he's showing a different level of range that nobody can show.
Not a whole record. I mean, I've heard stuff close to this, and the just like very obscure finds. You know what I mean? Like, these are people that are putting out eclectic music like this that don't really have a following, and so it kind of reminds me of, you get a few of these eclectic songs like this that are sprinkled in through, today's music atmosphere, but it's not too many, man. Not too many. And he's got a whole record of this shit. So yeah, every tune so far, this dude ain't fell off yet, man.
I don't expect it to. He is rap.
Yeah. Go ahead, read the next one.
So this says credit roll, so I don't know, and it's 1 minute and 20 seconds, so I don't know.
Is this the last track in the record?
No, there's one more after.
All right, let's go. Let it roll.
I'm so grateful for every when the credits roll. Tough life before everyone's time. Credits roll. Do you hang tight?
All right.
I really enjoyed that. It felt like sonically my brain was doing some, like it was like cleansing and like doing a whole thing in my mind. But also I like what he's saying in there, you know, because that's really, in my opinion, how he feels. You know what I'm saying? He's there, you know, he's a really like humble guy and like really grateful for everyone who, you know, helps fans, the creatives, the whole team. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it was good for him to add this to the, you know, to the EP because
it really gives me a Prince, like the song before and this one together. It really gives me that Prince vibe, like the Christopher Tracy's Parade, that record where it was very like he used a lot of you didn't hear it much in this last thing we just heard, but the track before you heard it, where at least in our jazz band we call it spit level, meaning that they would play the saxophones and trumpets and all of the brass instruments as low as possible. You know what I mean? They're trying to get the instrument to be, and that's what they call spit level, because it's like literally, it's almost like whispering a trumpet.
Well, yeah. Last thing I want to say about Credit Roll is that just on a creative, on the way they made it, you know, in my opinion, they definitely did the vocal, or it was probably either the vocal. Seems like it was like the vocal and just that lead piano first, just to, you know, dun 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 dun, and they did that like together, and then they like created everything else around it, and they did an excellent job at making that song feel really good. Like, to me, that felt really good, even though it was short and simple. It just, everything about it felt really good to me.
Everything followed. Dun, 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 dun. That's again, all I keep thinking about is Brave. Brave, because I'm telling you right now, Nate, there's no way I would have come up with a record like this. In my mind, I would have been thinking pop record. We got to make it perfect. You know what I mean? Like it would have been a different record. I'm so glad my hands were in it. I mean, that would have ruined it.
Right. You'd have been like, what? We got an opportunity with Rap Month. We're going pop. We're going name this. Like, man, nah. So I'm proud of them for this, man. I'm proud of Rap Month for this, man. He's really this. Now I'm excited even for the rest of the group, like their new projects, because, you know, for him to step this far out, I know it's gonna motivate the others to step, you know, even, you know, into lanes that they're more comfortable with, and that they really, really, truly want to bring, you know, and not think about anything else other than the music and the art of it. So that's dope, man.
Jay, I tell you, man, you know, not taken away from RM, but I gotta say, obviously, I told you before, V is my bias because I just love his music a lot. You know what I mean? It's just that he resonates with me more when it comes to musical style and stuff. But the dark horse, believe it or not, is J-Hope, man. The dark horse is J-Hope, and J-Hope, because you notice that in this record, man, everything is very consistent. But with J-Hope, man, like half his record will be like super hardcore heavy metal, like you wouldn't expect it. And the next thing you know, it literally morphs into this happy music, and everything is sunshine, and it's how he's able to pull that shit off, man. I don't know, but he's to me, his project, you got to hear that record too. And that's not a very long record. I think there's only like, what is it, Irene? There's 6 tunes on that.
Yeah, there are like, he's got like 2 or 3 albums. I can't Jack in the Box. I can't remember.
Yeah, Jack in the Box was the one that was the recent one.
Sorry, Armin.
We're at the last tune. What's the name of this last tune?
This is Come Back to Me.
Come back to me. Let's go.
I will roll you tomorrow. I see you come. I don't wanna know about the hour.
Classic.
Classic. Wow. Yeah,
Classic.
man.
Even the fade off, the fadeaway, man.
Exactly. I really appreciate that vamp. You know, just the end is just very, you know, he gives you a chance to get lost in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. I really appreciate this one, dog. This was felt like one fine day. You know what I'm saying? Just like sublime type of feel to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like,
man, overall, Nate, what do you sum it up, man? What do you think of the whole record?
To be real, it's like,
talk to him because it's possible he's gonna see this anyway.
I know,
so tell him.
He definitely gonna see this. So look, Rap Man, RM, I want to say I'm so proud of you, bro. Like, the growth in what you're doing now is just like light years ahead. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's so personal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, you kind of let your fans in to, you know, this secret part of your brain and your heart with this project. So I really appreciate this body of work. You know what I'm saying? And I view this complete body of work as something that was missing from the art scene, you know what I'm saying, musically. So, right. And this don't even just feel like music. It feels like, you know, it feels like Basquiat, you know, it feels like things that are beyond music. So, you know, the fact that you pulled this off, you did this, like, I'm not surprised, you know, because you are that. But at the same time, I'm just like blown away, you know what I'm saying, that you did this. And I feel like you did this for you and for the fans, for the fam, for everybody, you know what I'm saying, for the culture, for the next generation of artists, for, you know, so many things that mean so much to so many people. So thank you. I just want to say thank you, man, for creating this project. I'm about to go listen to it on repeat.
Yeah.
For about, you know, about 2 months now. So I'll know every word in a couple, you know, probably in a couple weeks. So, man, I really enjoyed listening to this project. This was dope, man. Like, wow. I don't even know what to say, man. It's like a mic drop. I'm like, I don't even know where I know where you could go from here, but I'm just like, you don't have to go nowhere from here, bro. You could, you know what I'm saying? This was enough, but I know it's always something next for RM. So
yeah. I mean, I know that he's gonna see this, and I'm excited for that. And my only thing, because you're friends with him, I've never met the guy, so you know him on an intimate level. Like, but I can honestly say, like, homie, what I dig about your record the most is you've heard us say it through the whole thing, is how brave you were to put this record out like this, and the fact that it sonically just breaks through so many norms, right? That starting with the structure, the songwriting structure into production, even how you mixed it and mastered. I'm so impressed, especially with the whole live aspect, the live off the room, you know what I mean? Live off the floor, excuse me, bro. This is Grammy worthy, man. This is just one Absolutely. Of those one of a kind records, man. That needs that attention. So Holmes, I hope that you get some recognition out of this through the Grammys. I'm sure. I believe, isn't he up for?
No, baby. That's what I was about to say. I'm so mad that it didn't get nominated.
What? It didn't?
No, they submitted it, but it never got to even the first round.
Wow.
No, man. See,
somebody dropping the ball, man.
I'm telling you, dog, because it ends up going back to being what Eminem calls it, the scammies. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
and you and I both have Grammys. You know what I mean? And so I don't know about you, but when it came to mine, it was a whole other team that was taking care of that before. You know what I mean? So I didn't even know I was even nominated along with that record until I got the call from the cat at Universal, and he was there at the Grammys when he called me. So it's like I know that this guy, because he's doing this outside of the norm, that he's definitely involved in every bit of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I know that he has his own team, but because it's more independent, there's a little more. It seems like he has his hands more into the business part of it. So it's got to be discouraging, knowing that you put your heart and soul into such a beautiful record, and for it to be passed over. It just that's.
But you know what? I do feel like this record, it's like he was pleasing himself with this album, is what I feel like, right? So, and it's like, and as a result, because I be telling people like, man, if you please yourself, then there's gonna be a multitude of people that are pleased as a result. You know what I'm saying? If you pleasing yourself, and so I feel like even though, you know what I'm saying, the Grammys, they overlooked it, which is ridiculous, and this will, you know, like in his song, you know, time will tell. You know what I'm saying? It'll sort it out. That and show that they made a mistake with this project, because to me this is like one of the most impactful projects I've heard, especially on an international level. On a, you know, this touches so many different realms, you know what I'm saying? And he brings it all together. You could tell there was so much time, attention, effort, focus, you know what I'm saying? Like vulnerability, like it's intimate. It's just like, and it's like, and it's scary to kind of do something like that. Like when you're stepping outside of your norms, it's like, what if people don't like it? What if, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that he was able to not even like, you know, stop himself and, you know, and get caught up in that type of psychology, and, you know, to the point where he could actually produce it and bring it to the world. Like, man, I got to clap it up for him.
I do, man. I mean, altogether, that record is just it's an innovative record, and it deserves it's super underrated. As we sit here right now, it's a super underrated record, and it's but it's okay, because the people that do get to hear it are lucky. And you know what? I agree with you. I think that because they've been dissed so much in the past when it comes to Grammys and stuff, that I think for him, it's like this par for course. You know what I mean? Like this is, I expect this. So because I expect it, I'm about to do something that nobody's done, and I'm going to make my record. Exactly. I'm going to pick my team that understands my vision. And this is the record we're going to, if it takes, it takes. If it doesn't matter, whatever. And I just, that's part of the braveness that I think, because man, you listen to this record, you know, he had to be thinking that shit. Like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put my record together, and that's that. You know what? There's no restrictions, there's no bounds, no nothing.
Right. So. The Grammys probably didn't even know where to put this. That's why they're like, man, I don't even know what category to put this in, you know.
And they have a novelty category, at least they used to, for albums that would preserve the recording arts. And come on, this does it. Like, I would love to see the session chart on this. You know what I mean? Yeah. To see how they did it, and what they used, the kind of board they use, all that kind of stuff. So it all matters. Yeah. And especially when it comes to like a record that is, when I say novelty, I mean, this is a history, this is preservation of the art. There are Grammys for that, and I believe that this is where that sits. You know what I mean? Because it's not a pop record. Let's be honest, it's not. You know what I mean? How do you define what this record is, except for that it's fucking great?
Yeah.
The genre doesn't really fit into, but that's why I believe it. He needs some kind of a Grammy nod.
And I don't want to say, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to be like the conspiracy guy, but it, you know, when a record like this doesn't get nominated for a Grammy, it makes me feel like they're trying to teach him a lesson of like, they don't want, they're trying to like reprimand him for going outside of his norm and stretching those boundaries. And it's like, oh, well, we're not going to give you this Grammy recognition, and since you want to do that, and which I think is the wrong way to play. I think it's, we're supposed to be like nurturing the arts, they're supposed to be like welcoming innovation and the people that are, pushing boundaries, because that's how we all got here, from the Princes and the Michael Jacksons and the James Browns and, people that were going against the grain, that's what it's all about, in my opinion. It's like, man, this stuff is, it's truly entertaining. It's truly a work of art. Like I said, I'm about to go listen to this, man. It's so eclectic. It's like I got so much, like my brain is bubbling right now. So
yeah, this is the kind of record that, like, for me, this is what I would listen to, nice headphones, right as I'm about to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear everything at just a smaller, lower volume so that I can hear all that's being done and kind of go through that. Did you ever get a sense that they were this eclectic, and did you ever think that it was because of their journey and how hard it was to get to that point? Do you believe this is that result?
Well, what I always saw, to me, like, and even now with any type of negativity that they receive, I believe it's coming from a place, just like back then and now, it's coming from the fact that, in my opinion, what they're doing is they're defying gravity. Okay. And whenever you defy gravity, it's like the first people that say, the world is round, everybody else is like, no, the world is flat. You can fall off of it, and, it's like whenever you're coming in with something that's so profound and prolific, it's, and it's never been done. And you got to realize you are directly, like, indirectly, rather, indirectly, actually, like, demoting, like, some of the top executives, top minds in the industry, because they're the ones who are saying, like, oh no, this is how it has to be done. This is the way. And so when you come and you do something different, that's why there's always this opposition, because they're like, if you're successful doing that, you're defying me. You're defying, like, you're undermining everything that I've been saying is the right and wrong way to do things,
Right.
And so it behooves me to do anything I can to see, to hold you back, to defy you, to make it harder on your journey. And what I love about them is their fighting spirit. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep a good man down. You know what I'm saying? So they just keep rising to the occasion and keep going from level to level to level. And I think even being denied, the Grammy nomination is actually going to do probably more good than the Grammy Association realized for them, because now it's like they're putting them in an underdog situation where it's like, okay, so you're telling me this immense talent is just being overlooked. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's clear as day that the talent is there, the everything is there. That this organization is supposed to be about. So now, what is the reason? You know what I'm saying? Are you saying that they're like, what's the reason? And when you can't give a real reason to that, it's like, somebody just saying, oh, because I said so.
I mean, from the last interview, there was some stuff that was out there. One of the things was that they didn't like the fact that I said that I think that they work the shit out of them, that they work them like laborers. And it was funny because I don't back away from that position at all. I know what I saw. You know what I mean? I took this journey on purpose to see what's going on. And I saw what their people put together for Army and for everybody else to see them and what they went through. And my God, it's shocking. You know what I mean? Because in a way, I think we all who are in the business, like you and I in the United States, we all have our idea about how labels develop their artists and the things that they go through. But it was quite a shocker for at least me. I can't speak for you, but for me to see what they went through is why I said what I said. I got a little flack from it, but not too far, like maybe a day or two after RM, they put out this statement apparently of what he had said, almost congruent to what I was saying, which was that he was actually affirming that he worked very hard to kind of change that culture of the way that they're developing people. And there are some people who've actually said, you know what, we kind of went all the way with it, but it correlates with what you're saying. Sometimes, you know, people choose to be there. People choose to get worked hard. They choose to be there. They're choosing to be there. But I think you said the last time about desperity. You know what I mean? You don't want to rock the boat at the same time. So you're willing to work extra hard to put in so that you can meet that goal. And when you were saying it, I didn't even see those guys sleep 5 hours, if that. I totally believe it, because it doesn't take a genius to see how hard those guys worked, and then just how hard people were being on them. Like Coolio, I mean, he really kind of went after V a little bit, but I guess in the end, when I say why did they do that, I kind of say, you know, in a way, nobody wants to see those kind of hardships because people relate to that. But man, look what the result was, bro. Man, the result.
Yeah, the result is, you know, pressure makes diamonds. But also, one thing that I will say, and that's why I try not to be, and I'm just being devil's advocate here. Like, I try not to be so like stuck in my way of viewing the world that where I'm imposing how I view, so even, if I'm saying like, hey, look, I can't, like the schedule, the blocking, all that stuff is, I'm more so speaking like for myself, right? So like, it's like from my perspective, right? Because I also know for me, I've done things in my life, in my career, in my regular, my regular mode of operation, that when people are around me for too long, they're like, dude, how are you doing this? How is this sustainable? But for me, it's not hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not difficult, right? Because this is my mode of operation. Everybody's, perspective and what's for them and what, is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm, I never want to like, I just want to put that disclaimer out there because, when I'm speaking about these things, it's more like, hey, I'm looking at it from my perspective. Like, if it was me that had to do it, I don't know that I could operate on the level that they're operating on, right? But discipline. Then, you know what I'm saying? But then again, like, that's why I got to give credit to them. It's like, yo, for them to be able to do it and do it at the level they're doing it, like, that's the genius in them. You know what I'm saying? That's the unconquerable spirit, that they're like showcasing. So
they're disciplined in a way that maybe not everybody's going to be able to make a decision to be that disciplined. I mean, I know now I couldn't do it because I'm too old to do anything like that. But back then, it kind of makes you kind of look at yourself back then at their age and go, would you go through that? You know what I mean? Could you work as hard? Because what you cannot say is they didn't work. You know what I mean? They worked and they were worked. And yes, they decided to be worked. But could I do something like that? Maybe not. But then again, look at the disciplines you and I have made to be who we are. You know what I mean? And not everybody is able to make those type of sacrifices and disciplines as well. So I guess it's everybody to each their own discipline. You know what I mean? But man, you have to be obsessed with this. You've got to make the decision that this is what you want to do. And then you have to just do that.
Yeah.
Production.
And that's for everything that we do though, right?
Yeah.
Even running track. If you look at it, you break it down, it can look crazy. It's like, bro, you're saying you're waking up at 5 a.m.
just to go run.
run. You got to go to school. Right. Then you got to go to tutoring. Then you got to go run. You know what I'm saying? You spending all these, even if you break your leg, you do anything, you still got to like, it's just like, everything that we do, if we really want to do it on a high level, there's going to be competition. So we're going to have to evolve past our comfort zones. You know what I'm saying? Past our regular understanding of how these things, get done and get accomplished. So it's, so I just think, I just look at it all like, hey, it's everybody, if you really want your dreams, if you want your goals, you're going to have to, a lot of times you're going to have to sweat for it. And that's why you should be doing something you enjoy doing, that you're passionate about, so that it doesn't feel like as much work, because it's going to feel like way more work, even if you're half-assing something that isn't really what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That feels like work.
Well, Nate, man, having you today on the show and reviewing this, I would be a fool if I didn't ask you. And it's okay if you haven't, because we all know that you're busy. We all know. Have you heard of any V's music at all?
Oh man, you want to do a reaction to V's project, huh?
Homie, listen, I don't want you to. I do want you to do it. V wants you to do it. You know what I'm saying? my man.
Man, so this is how I be, right? This is why I haven't heard the R&B project, and why I haven't even watched the American Hustle Life stuff too. Is like I try and separate, which is hard to do. You have to be intentional about it, right? So I try and separate, because I don't want to get into a fanboy state, right? Where I'm like, and I start.
Oh, you're way beyond that.
Oh my gosh, bro,
you could never be that, Nate. You are the eighth member of BTS as far as everybody else concerned. So
you got to get me beat up by the Harmony, man.
No, the Harmony. Those people need love too. So peace to the Harmony, no matter what they say, man. Peace to you guys too, because what haters need love too. That's all I can say. But man,
they need the most love. That's why they hate.
Yeah. I mean, we that interview was quite something. When we started seeing everything that was happening, everything that was being said, we were like, whoa. But it was cool. It was healthy, and the good thing was that as much Harmony as came out, the real army came to the defense, and really they handled business, and we didn't have to say nothing. We had to give nothing. It was just like, we're just going to continue. But I will say this, getting back to V, homie, look, listen, right now, RM, to me, as far as creativity, wow. But V is a whole other record. And that it's a whole other record.
I haven't heard the project. So, I mean, if you want to figure it out,
we will.
Have Irene reach out to me. We'll figure it out.
We'll do that, because
snap.
Let me tell you right now.
I know. I'm like, I don't know how much more these things are long too, man. I'm like, I gotta about to play catch up after this, but
look, I appreciate you stopping out. We'll definitely do a V reaction, and I think that he would appreciate that too, because dude, he really puts his all into it. And he loves you so much that I know that he would see it and he would just think, just purple hearts just emanating from that guy. But it's not a bullshit.
I want them to know I love, I got love for them publicly. I just be, I'm just like, they don't need my love publicly. It's like everybody love them publicly.
But they love you, man. They especially V and RM. Those guys really, they think the world of you, man. And it's hard because you're all celebrities. You know what I mean? So it's the nature.
They're celebrities. I'm just in the back. I'm just chilling.
Okay, Mr. Viral. The whole world picked you up. What are you talking about? No, man. But look, it was good seeing you again. We'll get this. We'll do another one. And I just
now you guys are on a roll, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. There's a lot to get through because they put out so much stuff.
Before you go, Nate, last time you had to talk about your single and you didn't say anything.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, for one, we were, you know, it's like I'm not a good self-promoter first off, right?
Okay.
So and the way I do with my music, you know, since I just recently got, you know, the ability to start releasing my own stuff now, is you know, so I'm really like just more like low key. It's like I just release it, and then people that find it, they find it. I don't, you know, I'm not spending money promoting my music. I'm not like,
Gotcha.
you know what I'm saying? Like I might drop it, I might let people know on my Twitter feed or something like, hey, this is out. If y'all want to check it out, check it out. But it's no
Right.
pressure. It's not like, hey guys, you know, I'm not really, you know, like, you know, we work with artists that, you know, so I know how to do a real campaign, but
Right.
that's not, you know, what it really is. It's about for me. It's just like the people that want to know and want to find out, they're gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, could you just give us a little plug since it's already out there? What are
oh
we
yeah,
looking
yeah. So, you know, I've released probably about, I want to say maybe 40, 45 days ago. You know, about a month and a half ago, I dropped a single. It's called "Go Goddess." This is
Okay.
my first single that I've dropped in probably like legitimately me as an artist, natewalka, in like I want to say 13, 14 years. And
Is that it?
yeah, that's it.
I was about to play it.
And I also have another song I'm dropping called Ghost the World. It drops it comes out May 9th. So, you know,
All
just
right.
those are go
So
two plugs
let's
right
do a
there.
reaction. For Frankie can do a reaction to that.
Yeah, Frankie, do a reaction for me on Ghost the World. That'd be
Ghost the
dope.
World.
And on Go Goddess if you want, if you haven't heard it.
I'll do both of them.
Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's do both.
that'd be
Yeah,
love.
yeah. We'll do both of them. We'll set it up and we'll tag you in it and everything, man. This is gonna be amazing. You better
Word.
watch it because maybe V and RM do a reaction on you. That would be
Hey
amazing.
man, that's probably a long shot, like, but
Oh,
that would be
anything's
crazy.
possible,
They're
You
baby.
know?
gonna be out soon, so
I'd be
Yeah.
curious to hear what they thought, because you know, even like, so singing for me, right, is it's something I normally do to place my records on singers.
Yeah.
But recently I just got I just, you know, because I have all these records where I'm singing on, because in my mind I grew up being a rapper, but even though I was, you know, I started off in the boys choir, Memphis City Police Department boys choir, but but then after that I was like, yo, I want to, you know, because it was so cool to rap and I could rap, that I just wanted everything to be about rapping. And so, you know, when I got to be a songwriter, it's like, okay, you know, rappers normally want to write their own raps. So the only way to really play songs is I gotta, like, you know, sing my demos, you know? And
Right.
so now now, you know, 2025, I have a laptop full of songs that have not been placed that I'm singing on. And now that I can release music, I just been like, you know what? Maybe the thing to do is to just start releasing this music, even though in my mind I don't consider myself a singer.
Mhm.
I can sing, you know what I'm saying, a little bit, you know what I'm saying, enough, and I know how to mix enough to make it really sound like I could sing. And
And you got
so,
me if you ever need anything else. I mean,
hey, I got Frankie Biggz, you
you
know what I'm
got me,
saying?
man.
It's the
Remix it.
big.
So, you know,
Do it.
I don't know,
I'll do
man. I think,
backgrounds if needed.
yeah,
Yeah, let's get it.
I
Yeah,
think, I
man,
think,
it's like, you know, so it's kind of like I'm a little shy about my singing, because some people, you know, they be listening to my song like, he ain't really singing. It's just, you know, they be trying to say it's auto tune, or they be saying like, um, I'm not taking too many risks and stuff. But to me, it's not about that. I'm a songwriter, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, yo, this thing is about conveying a sound that I want to convey. Like, I'm not trying to do all the crazy runs and, you know, do
right.
too much. I'm just doing enough for me to make this art piece that I'm creating, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's a moment, it's a vibe, it's something, you know, that I'm doing for that reaction and that understanding. So so yeah, you know, like even with the second single I got coming out May 9th, Ghost the World, it's intimate, you know what I'm saying? Like, singing to me is an intimate thing, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't normally sing for everybody. So, you know, even for me to do these records like how I do them, it's like I normally, like when I do them, I'm thinking, you know, originally I was thinking I would be placing these records. So for me, it's okay to get vulnerable in those moments because it's like, okay, I'm trying to sell this to a singer and in hopes that he buys it, you know. But now, you know, so it's like it's a little different, and I'm thankful that I went through it the way that I went through it, because I feel like if I was trying to do it from the gate, like, hey, I'm gonna be a singer and I'm gonna do all this, like I probably wouldn't have been able to like actually do it. I'd have been like, you know what, you know. But since I already got a lot of records that I'm singing on, I'm just like, you know what, like, because these are, you know, these are really, this is really how I feel, you know what I'm saying? So you know, maybe it's okay for me to be a singer, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, it's all right.
And what stops you from placing some of these songs that maybe you're not going to put out to other people? I mean, I know that you're in that vein. Like this last record that RM just put out, like the last two songs of that record kind of remind me a lot of Jackson Wang. You know what I mean? Like it has,
I've worked on Jackson Wang's projects too.
So I'm saying, so like you've worked with Jackson, so you kind of know like that thing. Like I think that you could definitely play some stuff. I mean, I'm writing some stuff, and
this is the thing though. As you know, with being a creator, we make amazing music all the time, but there's no guarantee. Everybody's making amazing music. You know what I'm saying? There's no guarantee that you're going to place the records. And so the thing, you know, my ideology and why I'm even releasing stuff under myself now is that my mindset is like, hey, look, I'm sick of sitting on records that, you know, waiting years for a record to get placed. Yeah, I could probably sit on these records another 5 years and maybe place, you know, somewhere when the time meets. But now I'm making the labels more accountable as well when I send records, because I'm letting them know, hey, look, I send these records to the labels first. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, look, y'all got 45 days or 60 days to make a decision. And if you don't make a decision, then I'm going to take the record back and I'm just going to put it out on myself. I don't care if it, you know, it does a bunch of streams or not. At least it's out. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, for me, when I leave the earth, when I die, I'm like, I just, you know, I don't have kids yet, but I assume I will have kids before I die. So I just want there to be something, enough music, like, because I make so much music. I'm like, for there to only be like, I only have like 190 something placements worldwide when I should have 2,000 placements worldwide, in my opinion, at least 2,000 records out at the level of, you know, because of how many records I actually make. So I'm just like, you know, so then I start thinking like that. It's like, okay, so it's more about leaving, you know, something like, you know, that my kids can be proud of. Because if not, then they only gonna have like, they're gonna be like, yeah, your dad, he played some records, but then on himself, he only had like 1 or 2 records or 3 records, you know. And it's like, yo, I could have so many records out, and you know, that way my kids, they can at least like, you know,
keep putting them out, man, because I know you're dope, and the world needs to hear more of what you have going on. That is for damn sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I'm like doing a little R&B pocket right now, but I rap still, so I'm about to. I probably, you know, sooner or later, maybe this summer, start dropping some, like, you know, some stuff where we fusion the singing and the rapping, or, you know, take it to another level.
Are you doing your own tracks, or are you working with a programmer?
Yeah, I do a lot of my own tracks now, but I do work with a couple producers. Marley Waters is one of my main producers. I work a lot with him, but yeah, you know, for the most part, I try and, like, you know, because I do it all now. So, but I think when I met you, I was only like writing and rapping. Now I'm like everything. I engineer, man. I do a lot now.
Well, man, I'd love to at least send you some of my tracks. I think you'd like some of the
definitely, bro.
Tracks that I got. They're definitely different from when we first met, because at that moment I was transitioning from the Latin industry, you know, into the R&B, and I had always done R&B and hip hop, but I was super heavy into that whole Universal Sony Latin thing, and I was coming off of that. Now I've immersed myself more into that, and so Yeah, I've got some fire, that's for sure, man. So, man,
go.
before we take off, my last question to you is: do you have anything, since you were the attention of this last week, the whole viral moment that went on with you? Do you have anything you'd like to address to the Army before we jump off here?
Well, for one, I just want to always, show love and respect and dedication for the Army, because, they're people, you know what I'm saying? These are real people. These are real, like pure hearts, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? To be a part of the Army, you got to have a heart of gold. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just want to say I appreciate, the ones that did check on me. You know what I'm saying? That did care that about what I had to say. It means a lot to me. And I hope if anybody got offended by anything I said, count it to my head, not my heart. And I hope that, maybe eventually you'll understand where I'm coming from, and it's okay to, disagree. You know what I'm saying? It's not, nothing's exact. I appreciate the Army members also that purchased my application. West store. I really appreciate that.
That was awesome. Yeah.
That was really cool. I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of love. Yeah. And because that's still, that's still my baby, right? It's I want to, where I see that application being in the, by the end of the year is at least another added 100% on top of where it already is, as far as the features and Korean, being able to teach people all these languages using music is that's a dream to me. The fact that I even have it is a blessing. And man, I just appreciate the support. You know what I'm saying? It's all love over here on this side. A few people did reach out to me that I haven't been able to hit back in the DMs, so I will be. I just want everybody to know I'm trying to dedicate one day every 2 weeks to go through DMs and just hit people back. So if you have DM'd me and you haven't heard back from me yet, don't worry, I will be hitting you back. But just give me a little time because there's so much going on. And Frankie always trying to do these reaction videos.
Hoping you
man, I don't know
blaming on the Frankie game, bringing on the Frankie.
Right. I'm I don't know what I just stepped into with Frankie and Irene. I was a ghost before I met y'all, man. Now y'all got me outside. I'm wait, what's going on?
Man, you've been on the cave for so long.
I know, man, but we appreciate it because you're such a talent, and you really do need to. Well, in my opinion, obviously, my most humble opinion, I think you need to be out there a lot more. And anything that we can do to help you is even with your YouTube page or anything like that, man, you have us, man. We
appreciate that.
We love you, man. We love you to death. And we've always just thought the world of you. We've met so many people in the industry, and we battle egos all the time. And that's what really turns us off with a lot of people. Man, I really like that person, want to work with them, and I'd love to, but their ego is so out of control. And with you, we've never encountered that. You've always been really honest, and that's how we at least like to fashion ourselves. We're just brutally honest people. We don't lead with ego, and you know what I mean? And there's no need to lie. There's no need to fake anything. You got to let your music speak for itself and your credits. And not everybody's going to believe you. Not everybody's going to want to believe you, but you just keep going on. And we really dig that about you. So doing more collaborations like this, I think would be cool for you in that way, to get you more exposure that I think you should have. Cause I know you downplay yourself a lot. And I'm whoa, man, you're so talented. I really wish you were out there a little more, but maybe it's going to take the Army. Maybe it's, again, BTS is magic.
Or maybe it's going to take Frankie and Irene.
Oh, well, it already has. We've gotten him to the first step, right?
Man, y'all exposing me to the light right now.
Right. So But I really,
y'all gonna have me taking my glasses off next time.
there's nothing wrong with that shit, man.
Nah, let's not get crazy.
Well, look, man, I really appreciate you coming out, and I know the Army appreciates it. I'm hoping this is not going to be the last time we see you. I'm really serious about that V thing, because there's contacts, there's ways, and I think that they would really appreciate hearing from you, because, bro, you're responsible. You have a good quarter of responsibility of who they are today, whether you want to admit it or not. It is true. You helped, and those 2 weeks were some most impactful thing for them at that point. If you think about what they were going through, you were a definite impact on them for the rest of their lives, man. Because when they think about that experience, whatever crew that they do or they around and all the people around them, you really stuck out for them, especially with V. That's why I think it's really important for you to hear this guy's record, guy, because I'm telling you.
And it'll be somebody else, Joan Cooks or.
Well, no, listen, man. Everybody, like,
international playboy. That V is the international playboy.
V is the man,
boy. So I definitely, I'm looking forward to hearing this project.
Definitely, man. Well, look, man. Thank you for stopping by. Don't go anywhere. And Army and everybody that stopped by, thank you for stopping by to our channel. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these reviews. Nate, it's always a pleasure, sir. I can't wait for the next one. And yeah, man, thank you so much for coming out.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the energy. It's always love on this side. Thanks, Irene. Thanks, Frankie. And yeah, man, hit my line. We'll see if we can do this again. All right.
All right, guys, man.
All right,
Peace
bro.
out.